And we're live.
Right, cool. Hey,
Hi. Hello.
how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Nothing crazy this week, I guess. Man, I just want the boys to finish up now. Like, I just want all those episodes. I'm so mad that I have to wait a week in between when, like, some fun stuff happens the last episode.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I don't even know how many episodes there are left.
They said there was going to be 8, so 2 more, I guess. Tomorrow's and then next week's.
Right on, nice.
Yeah. Be
Looking forward to
interesting.
that for sure.
What's new with you?
I came back from Canada. I did a trip to Canada the last weekend, and let me tell you what that's like.
Yeah.
Um,
How are airports?
so the international terminals are uh, way more dead than domestic flights.
I'm sure, yeah.
There's barely anyone in those terminals. Um, in terms of like the people wearing masks and stuff, San Francisco's like everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And so the way I did it is I went to San Francisco, layover in Vancouver to Calgary, and then on the way back, Calgary to Vancouver to San Francisco. Vancouver, the middle of the pack. Calgary, least number of people wearing a mask. Still, like the majority definitely were. Like we're talking 90%,
Sure.
but I could just based on who I was seeing, Calgary had the least number of people with the masks. Also, just hardest to social distance myself in the Calgary one. I don't know if it's just smaller or the time of day or whatever,
Right.
but there was just a lot of people in that one. And of course, that was a flight going domestic, so that makes kind of the most sense.
Sure.
Whereas the other ones wouldn't have been like that. Get to my whole plan is I'm there Saturday, then 2 nights because I didn't want to just like land, sleep, go back to the airport.
Yeah.
I wanted to just to see my family a little bit. So my plan is and Saturday, 2 nights, fly out on Monday.
Okay.
So the first time I crossed the border, I landed in Vancouver, and the customs agent there says, "So you're not doing the mandatory 2-week quarantine?" It looks like.
Right.
I was like, "No, I'm just here, saying hi to my dad, leaving." He's like, "Okay, well you can't spend any time with your dad. That'll be breaking quarantine."
Oh.
So, and I was like, "Oh, so what should I do? What should someone in my situation do? Go get like a hotel?"
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Well, does your dad have like a bathroom in the basement? You could stay in the basement the whole weekend." I was like,
Okay.
"Well, he does, and there actually is a spare bedroom down there. What are you gonna do about food?" "Oh, there's actually a spare fridge down there. I guess I could call my dad and get him to like load up
Yeah.
before I show up." "You're not gonna socialize with your father at all." "I guess I'm not, because you could see fines of up to $1 million, and there's a chance people will come and check in on you."
Okay. Huh.
So, which I knew some of the stuff. Like, you guys, Canada is taking the pandemic seriously, and that's
Uh,
great.
sure.
Um,
That's kind of funny how that's put though.
I'm just telling you what he said, telling you what happened. So,
What would you rather do?
uh,
Hug your dad or pay $1 million?
well, if you hug your dad, you
You
have to
will
pay a
pay a
million dollars,
million.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So that's what I had to kind of contend with
Sure.
for the weekend there. I needed to get to my mom's house. My mom, unfortunately, was not there this weekend. It just happened. That was the one weekend she was out of town. So
Yeah.
that was just a bad luck. But I needed to get to my mom's house. One, I wanted to pick up some video games. But two, I needed to get the real copy of my diploma
Right.
for the application on the way back. So in order to like not break quarantine or whatever, I mean, I waited till 10 o'clock at night and drove over there real fast and came back,
Sure.
hoping no one was like watching the house, because I just couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk it. This close with the visa and stuff, I couldn't risk. I also do not want a $1 million fine. Not that I really thought that was going to happen, but I couldn't risk that.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it ended up. So I ended up spending my Saturday night 11 o'clock at night. I wanted to get some games out, but a lot of my games are now like in the crawl space, in storage, in bins.
Yeah.
My room has been like renovated. The house is under renovation, so they're not really that accessible. So the crawl space, it's this tiny little like it's only like 3 feet tall space that's in between the basement and the main floor. You go downstairs in the basement, you go into the like laundry room, and you climb up a ladder into just what looks like a hole in the top of the wall to get into this 3-foot area.
Sure.
It's dusty and dirty in there, and I was wearing like white Adidas track pants, so I was like, well, I don't want to get those dirty. So I'm the only one home, so I just take my pants off.
Sure.
Crawl in there. So I'm spending my Saturday night, 11 o'clock at night, digging through the dumbest 360 games you could think of without wearing pants.
The way it's meant to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't act like you haven't been where I am.
You're not better than me.
Yeah. So I grabbed DJ Hero 2. Couldn't find DJ Hero 1. I was like, why are these not right beside each other?
Yeah, that's weird. Huh.
So I'm very confused. I went through every box that I did find, but I mean, at one point I was starting to like sweat.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable and tired.
Yeah.
And like, it was just, so I was like, DJ Hero 2 is better anyway.
Sure.
Like, well, I'll say DJ Hero 2. Maybe I'll pick up one at Christmas or something. I don't know. We'll see how things go.
Sure.
I also picked up my DVD copy of the complete series of Undergrads. Did you ever watch that cartoon?
I love that cartoon.
Good. So I'm going through it again right now because I was like, oh, I should bring this down. I like this cartoon. I'll show my girlfriend, show my roommate.
Yeah.
Don't think it holds up as well. As like, when was the last time you watched Undergrads?
Probably a few years ago.
Yeah. So this, for those who don't know, this was a Cartoon Network or Adult Swim. In Canada, it was on Teletoon.
It was Teletoon here. Yeah. So Cartoon Network, here. I guess, right?
I think Cartoon Network. Yeah. Have an adult cartoon style.
It might have been MTV even.
It was MTV for sure. So I was actually watching some like behind the scenes stuff on YouTube of kind of like why it failed so spectacularly.
Yeah.
But anyways, adult cartoon, only one season because it kind of got a bunch of weird legal stuff, and the creator didn't. He signed the characters away, unfortunately, and blah 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 blah. Anyway,
sure.
It doesn't. I don't think it holds up as good. There are still some funny jokes, but like Rocco is like deeply problematic now.
I mean, I think most of the characters in that show.
There's a lot of just like shitty, like, okay, this is kind of a thing of its time, because like joke, like, it's not offensive, but it's like, no, you don't say that anymore.
Yeah,
that's not cool. And that's basically all of Rocco's character is consistently stuff like that. But, you know, there's still a spot in my heart for that show. I like that show quite a bit.
Yeah.
Trying to make a movie. Creator, he did get the rights back, and he kickstarted the like a pre version. They're trying to get a movie together. So what
would that even be? I wonder. I guess they graduate, maybe, or it's probably after graduation.
I don't know. Is it just the next year, or do they address that it's been 20 years since that show?
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe like a reunion or something of the characters.
I don't know. My guess is they just continue on with year 2.
Yeah, maybe.
And they make a silly like one-off thing of like, it seems like I haven't seen you guys in 20 years.
Yeah,
or something,
they could do
and
that.
Just kind of move on. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, I got a new visa. Hooray!
Yay! So you don't have to be kicked out during a pandemic.
I have to be kicked out. No, I'm here again for another solidified it down here. Yeah, that's what's going on. And now it's 32 degrees outside, and I can't open the windows because the air quality's bad again.
Yay! So glad to live here now.
Yeah, so glad to have fought my way back here. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing new this week. John's not here, by the way.
Yeah, no, John's not here, unfortunately.
I took the night off.
No, wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, if nothing else is going on with you, then let's do the podcast.
Okay.
Time perspective for October 1st, Halloween month.
Yeah.
You got Halloween plans?
Not currently.
What does Halloween even look like?
Movie night, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the craziest thing is like the differences up there compared to down here. Like we were like driving to and from the airport in Calgary. Not everyone is wearing a mask like at all times. And down here, like when you're outside, not everyone's wearing their mask, but they at least have something like around their neck that they can pull up if they're gonna like pass by someone.
Sure.
Not the case in Calgary. I was just seeing tons of people with just looking like it's a regular day outside. And that was just kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah, people are shitlords up here about some of that stuff.
Do you guys think you're gonna have like an actual like Halloween trick or treating?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. I'm curious. Somewhere is probably gonna do it, right? There's gonna be some.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Town that, yeah, I don't know. I can't see it happening down here.
Yeah.
I hope people still decorate their lawns, though. I haven't really gone out around the community to look, but I hope that's the case. I always like seeing those.
I also do too.
It's apparently a really popular giant skeleton you can get at Home Depot this year. It's like 2 stories tall. For some reason they're selling this thing. Maybe not 2 stories, maybe like 1 story, but it's like it's weird. That I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter about the giant Home Depot skeleton.
12-foot tall, apparently, with life eyes. I don't know what life eyes means, but they look creepy.
I don't know what that is either. How do you have the price? How much is a 12-foot skeleton?
It is $300 US.
That's so much money.
Do you want the new Xbox, or do you want a 12-foot skeleton? I think you know in your heart the answer.
Yeah. I mean, saying in the chat, that skeleton is awesome. It is. But like, where do you put a 12-foot skeleton when you're done? Like
the garbage, I guess.
I'll just put this in my closet. No, I don't.
In Sean's old bedroom that we just renovated to be 12 feet tall.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, I would have to give up a whole bedroom of my apartment to fit a 12-foot skeleton.
Yeah, exactly.
But that would be so cool to have, right?
It would be very cool for the week that you put it up.
Yeah, what would you do? What would you like? What's your decoration plan for a 12-foot skeleton? If you could, if you had the space, if you had like a house or something, what's the dream goal to do with a 12-foot skeleton?
I'd probably put it behind my house so it looks like a skeleton is like peeking out over it.
Peeking over it?
Yeah.
Like down at the street? That's pretty good. I was thinking, I had thought about that one. I had also thought he's just like, sitting on the roof.
That'd be really good too. Yeah.
Just he's sitting, his knees are kind of up, like if you have like a house with like a point.
Yeah.
He's sitting and knees are over it, and his arms are just kind of like on his knees.
That'd be pretty good too. Yeah.
I also want to try and get sunglasses on him somehow.
Oh yeah, you would need giant sunglasses. That'd be great.
Giant sunglasses, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And the chat says, buy a 12-foot skeleton, get surgery to put yourself in the skeleton. Suddenly you're 12 feet tall.
Oh my god.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, just graft your skin over top of the bones of that skeleton.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this earlier. I'm Sean Booker.
Oh, I'm Paul Fleck.
Also don't remember if I said this is the Top Down Perspective, but in case you're curious what podcast you're listening to, this is the Top Down Perspective.
It is.
All right, I've done a ton of talking, so Paul, why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
Sure. I played a bunch of Deep Rock Galactic with some friends this week. Man, that game is fun. So Deep Rock Galactic, for anybody who might not know, is kind of like a first-person game where you are playing a dwarves in space that get sent on little missions by your company to like collect certain materials from different like asteroids or space rocks of some sort. And like on those, you usually encounter a bunch of swarmy alien types, like spidery things or like arachnid type things that attack you. Bug type things just in general, I guess. And you have to fight them off while gathering the material for your company and then getting back home. It's fun. It's a really, really good co-op game. Pretty small download size. It's like less than 2 gigs, which we found surprising. And it's just like a good thing to jump in with some buddies and play for a while, where you all get together, you work together to do a thing. There's 4 different jobs or like different worker types for the dwarves. There's a driller who has these like drill arms things that he can drill through tunnels really fast. There is a scout that has a hook shot type thing, so he can like move around and like mark things and get things that are out of reach easier. There's an engineer with a platform gun who can literally just make like platforms for him and the other dwarves to use to get to high places. And then there's the gunner who has a zipline ability to set up zip lines everywhere so everybody can move around, and like a bunch of different weaponry and stuff. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's just a pretty simple, you have a small thing to do, you go in, you do it, and then you get home and you get like, I don't know, not loot necessarily, but like
Bragging rights.
like crafting materials and money to like upgrade things. Okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good little game.
Is this co-op? It seems like it's kind of a team thing.
It's a 4-player co-op game, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can play it single player, and they give you like a drone that like acts as like a little co-op buddy to help you, but I don't think it would be the same experience.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fun. So that's
when you started this, I had this game confused with Hard Space Shipbreaker, which they're not similar. But do you know that game?
I do. Yes, I never played that one though.
I haven't either. For some reason, I had those mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
And then you started talking about fighting people, and I was like, this is not the right game. What am I thinking of?
Completely different, yeah. That, again, Deep Rock Galactic. If you have some buddies, maybe pick it up. It's a super fun time. I really, really enjoyed it quite a bit. I started Spelunky 2 this week. Started playing Spelunky 2.
Right, finally.
That game is fucking difficult. Like, in a way that the first game was not. The first...
I've heard it is a lot harder, yeah.
The first biome or whatever, like the undergrounds, the first 3 stages or whatever it is, man, there is some rude shit that game does to you. They added a few new enemies that are just a pain in the ass to deal with. They're still the old enemies of the bats, the spiders that drop down, snakes of different sorts. There's some of the new enemies are the one that pisses me off is like a mole, a cave mole that just like moves around in the walls and jumps out randomly at you. I absolutely hate that piece of crap. I hate him so much.
In like a good way, if you're like, all right, here we go. We're on level 2 of Spelunky. It's time to get good. I've been training my whole life for this.
That mole, I feel, is bad. Everything else that they've added is good. Everything else is fun. There's what the hell are they called? Like a sand shrew type thing, like the Pokemon.
Armadillo?
No, not an armadillo. More like a hedgehog or something. That like when it sees you, it just starts rolling at you, and it just keeps rolling at you, so it can like combo you. But they're pretty chill. They don't like really actively seek you or anything. Just kind of if you get in their way. There's turkeys you can ride in the...
Heard a lot of it. Yeah, the turkeys do different stuff, I hear, and whatnot.
Yeah, so they add a double jump and kind of like a feathery glide thing where you can like flap your wings to slow fall, essentially. And they headbutt as your attack instead of a whip when you're riding them.
Can't one of them like teleport?
Possibly, yeah.
Is that a different creature that you can ride? Is there other creatures you can ride?
As far as I know, there are. I haven't met them yet, though.
Okay. Something teleports. I've just a lot of podcasts I'm listening to are talking about
Spelunky. So. Sure. Yeah, that game is difficult, though. Holy crap. And, like, for a while, I was just like, maybe it's just because I remember Spelunky 1, and just, like, at some point, I was like, okay, I know how to read this game properly, and, like, this is fine now. No, this game is just hard. Like, the layouts for stuff are a little ruder right from the get-go than they were in Spelunky 1. Sometimes you have to actually bomb out the, like, damsel, which are all just pets now. There's no more male or female damsels to save. They're all the pets, the dog Monty, the cat Percy, and Poochie the hamster. And you can choose whichever one you want, or just have the menagerie of all 3 of them, and it'll just kind of randomly choose one for you per level. The bombs, I think, do a little more range damage, like another an extra block or so than they used to, so that was kind of weird to get used to at first. I think they do like 2 or 3 blocks outwards now instead of 1 or 2, depending what Spelunky 1 was, which is fine. That's not a big deal, but it was a little bit different. The game starts you off auto running, which is kind of annoying because I like having the button to like choose when I run or whatever. So that's an easy option to change though in the menu. That's not too bad. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about with the game. I think it's kind of cute story-wise how the Spelunky guy and the Spelunky girl from Spelunky 1, you're playing their daughter. And I thought that was kind of cute, just like a little story thing going on.
Sounds like it's a game for people who played a lot of Spelunky 1.
It is. It is absolutely that game. It is a sequel to Spelunky in that it is harder. There's more things to look at. There's new secrets. And there's kind of a weird continuation.
Like if you went through Spelunky and you're like, well, I found everything in there. I did all the weird secret runs and the bonus stuff, and now I want the next thing.
This is your game. Yep,
this is the
100%.
One. Yeah.
Yep. Even like story continuation, which is kind of an odd thing to say, but it's there. So it's a cool game though. It's very cool. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little frustrated after like a couple hours of just being like, okay, I need to put this down because I'm getting worse.
I think that's why I had kind of bounced off Spelunky initially. I played a little bit of it, but it was one of those things where it's like,
it's hard.
Okay, this is a game where you are wanting me to put a level of investment in that I am not wanting to do at that time or ever or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it's just like you're asking something of me that I am not interested in. And I do not want to meet you halfway, Spelunky. So I'm going to shake hands and they probably play Pokemon or something.
Yeah, I mean they're hard games. They take like you said, they take time investment of learning how to even go through that game. They're time consuming because you kind of need to be careful, but also not really. Oh, I guess like there's new traps. Like there's a vase you can break now that'll instantly call the ghost that used to just come at you when I think you spent over 2 minutes in the in the caves and stuff. So you can instantly call the ghost now. The ghost also speeds up at a point if you like are dodging him, so he becomes harder to dodge to get away from. Yeah, I don't know. Everything about it is just like, we know that you played Spelunky 1. This is going to be harder for you. And it is. It's exactly that. So if you kind of bounce off Spelunky 1, this might be a nightmare. If you like Spelunky 1 a lot, this might be something up your alley for sure. It is unforgiving, though, in a way Spelunky 1 wasn't, for sure. I played Anime Breath of the Wild. That game that...
Yeah, this thing is getting, like, crazy popular. I downloaded it on PlayStation. I want to try it out. The, like, successful Chinese game in the West or something ever, I think I heard, or something like that.
Yeah, I believe it. So I played Genshin Impact for people who might not know what I was talking about. It is extraordinarily anime to the point where I kind of don't like the themes of it. But that's okay because I like the gameplay a lot. So I couldn't tell you what the story is besides some elder dragons or something are mad and you have to fight them uwu or something. You can choose to be either a male or female twin that is kind of like in the opening cutscene in the other one, your other sibling gets like frozen or something by some like evil witch mage or some bullshit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You end up in this world where you meet this fairy person that won't shut the fuck up. Think of like Navi, but worse, named Paimon. And she is the absolute worst thing about this game because she just doesn't ever shut up and her voice is annoying. But the gameplay style is literally kind of like Breath of the Wild, where you're running around a giant open world that's cel-shaded, looks very, very nice as an anime character of some sort. But it's all based on elemental damage and stuff like that. So the different elements like earth, fire, water. I think you start off with like a wind type character, or at least I did. I don't know if that's random or whatever. And then you have other characters that you meet up with in your party to fill other spots. You can only ever have 4 at a time that you can switch between while you're fighting. And I guess the draw of it more than anything is it has like sword and bow, like weapon combat. That's very good and fluid, but also you have to use different elemental stuff to take out enemies and kind of like combine them to do different effects, which is kind of neat. So for example, if an enemy has a shield up that's like a cryo shield, like a ice shield or whatever, you can use, or a water shield would be a better thing. You can use fire against it to vaporize the shield, like turn it into vapor, and it damages the enemy. Or you can freeze that enemy in the shield using an ice attack to freeze the water around it. So there's like different interactions like that. And even between your own characters, you can like set a tornado up as like your special ability as the main character. And then you can switch to your fire character and shoot a flaming arrow into it. And now it's a flaming like vortex.
Oh, like a spell break.
Yeah, kind of. It's like that, but like as a single player RPG thing. I guess like the weird thing about this though is it is free to play, so it has the free to play gacha
I'm really
mechanics.
Like confused about.
Yeah.
When I think of like Breath of the Wild and then free to play, I'm like,
Yeah,
what is being gated here? I know it is gacha, but like,
yeah,
does that just affect your other party? Like, how easy is it to ignore this stuff? How like
it's super easy to ignore it because they give you a wind, fire, cryo, electric type, and they give you the stuff that you need to do quote unquote roles. Think of it like Fire Emblem Heroes, how they did it, where you're like trying to get new heroes or whatever by rolling or doing the like roulette or whatever. It's the same idea. Where
is there any like actual reason where I would like want to? Like, what am I missing out on by not putting money in there?
as far as I can tell right now, you would be missing out on like the different elemental characters, perhaps, because like I did.
But I already get each. But I get each element, right? You said you get one of the elements.
You get 4 of them,
so...
and there's like 7, I think, or 6. Yeah, so it would just be
like.
like.
Is there just like areas of the map you cannot go to because you don't have whatever element? Give us 99 cents.
I'm not sure yet. Like, because I did one of the roles and I got a like earth type or whatever, and it's made some of the battles easier, but it seems like there's different ways that the elements interact together that you wouldn't need that earth type necessarily. It's just made some of them, the fights, a little easier, I guess.
Yeah. I'm curious to try it out because, like I said, when I think of Breath of the Wild structure, I don't understand how gacha kind of fits into play.
It's weird
because even like Breath of the Wild, you didn't level up.
No.
So it's not like I'm rolling for a stronger character. Breath of the Wild was just like, you need to get better, and also you'll get more hearts at some point.
In this game, you do level up. So the starting level apparently seems to be level 20, which you get instantly. It's super, super easy. And then you have to get materials to ascend them to like open up that level cap essentially and like continue on. And that seems to be kind of where the multiplayer starts or whatever. So there's a bunch of different leveling systems in this game. There's levels per character where that character or waifu or whatever you want to call them levels up them. But you also have an adventure level or rank. And the adventure rank would be like your player level or whatever, like your all-around level. That's the one that you need to get to apparently adventure rank 15 before you can start doing co-op and like really open up the world.
Oh, okay. Do you know how long that takes? Because I was actually planning to play this co-op.
I played for about 3.5 to 4 hours, and I'm adventure rank 10.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Okay.
So
I have to change my plans.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good co-op experience because of this reason, which is a bummer.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot more to say about it. It's kind of fun. I like the combat.
Platforms it's on are kind of weird. It's
on everything
PC,
except Xbox,
PS4,
right?
Not on. It's coming to Switch later, I believe. Right? It's not on Switch at the moment.
Okay, sure.
But it is on Android and iOS.
Yeah,
and there is cross saves between everything except the PS4 version.
Right. I'm sure that's
Which
a
is
Sony
weird.
problem. That's probably not them.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's weird because that's probably the one I'm going to play it on.
Sure.
Just because that's the console one. That was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. I want to check it out. A lot of people are talking good things about it, and it looks really good.
It's surprisingly really fun. Again, like I'm not really into the like anime uwu scene. So that stuff is a little bit of a turnoff for me. But the combat and like the way it plays is actually just so satisfying and fun that I'm overlooking kind of that other stuff that I'm not a big fan of.
Did you know that this game was coming? Because this just came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was. I keep track of
Okay.
a bunch of different releases, but I didn't know it would become this big either.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this thing at all.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was just like everyone's talking about it. So I was like, I guess I'll check it out because it's free.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the free and the fact that they serve mobile too. Like it's pretty big deal, I guess, for getting people in. I did hear that people that play mobile just like start burning their hands pretty quick because it just heats your phone up super quick.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's been fun. Let's go into something that maybe isn't so fun. At least I didn't think so. Super Mario 35 came out about I don't know, like 16 hours ago. And I played it a little bit last night before I went to bed. That thing is kind of a piece of shit. That's what I'll say about it.
Okay. I've been playing it a bit too. I've done maybe like 6 games.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Level 12, I want to say.
Okay. So for people that might not know what we're talking about, Mario 35 is the Super Mario Brothers 1 game that is done kind of like Tetris 99, where you are playing against 34 other people and you are kind of racing against the clock and also each other, kind of trying to screw with each other to become the last one standing. And where Tetris 99 was like really kind of simple and easy to understand, this one has some weird mechanics going on to kind of make it work as a multiplayer thing. And I think it's a little convoluted in a lot of ways, where it's not just
really. I didn't get that impression, so I'm assuming I missed something.
Okay.
In that case.
So the idea is that you have a time. Everybody has a timer. The way that you increase time is, well, I guess the thing is you can't die. So the way it seems like everybody dies if they're going to die, unless like they're bad at Mario games, is you're going to fall into a pit because Mario 1 physics suck. They're really bad and they're really weird to get used to.
That's kind of the one thing. Well, there's a couple things, but one of the things is like I'm just not a huge fan of Super Mario Bros. 1.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of it. Is like, yeah, I didn't hit that jump. It's like, well, this doesn't feel great.
Yeah. You have like no control over your momentum. You have like barely any momentum if you don't get a good jump off every time you jump. You will probably kill yourself more than other people will kill you in this game, honestly. So the way it works,
I don't know. I'm about 50-50 on like, oh, I just jumped in a hole. Bummer, because that was actually a pretty good run and I was like in the top 10 versus did a weird jump but there did also happen to be 8 enemies there. So
oh, okay, sure. So also you have a timer and you can die by the time running out, or you can die by things hitting you and then you dying. It's like normal.
Yeah, typical Mario. Yeah.
Typical Mario stuff. So the timer stuff, you can increase your timer by using fireballs, which will increase the timer by 1 second per enemy. You can stomp on the enemies, which will increase it 2 seconds per enemy, and then go up by 1 for every consecutive enemy hit during the same sequence. So if there's 5 Goombas there, and you hit 1, and then land, and then hit 1, and then land, and then so on and so forth, you'll only gain 10 seconds. Where if you hit them in sequential order, the first Goomba will give you 2 seconds, the second one will give you 3, then 4, then 5, then 6.
Okay.
To add
this is a specificity that I don't think is super necessary. But
it is absolutely
you defeat
necessary.
enemies, you get time back.
It's
just keep defeating
it's
enemies.
absolutely necessary, because the way these games end is that 5 people die instantly from the first Goomba for whatever reason, or disconnection or something. Then there's nothing happens for a while. Then a bunch of more people die. Then you're in the last 5, and you are literally playing forever until the timer goes down so fast you can't keep up with it. So you need to have one more second than the other guys.
Does the timer speed up?
Yeah. Oh god, it goes to the point where you
Okay.
can't keep up anymore. Like it'll just
I guess I haven't
it'll
gone
just
that
start
far.
rolling down until somebody dies.
Right. I'm not sure if I've gone that far. I probably haven't, but I'm usually not looking at the timer too much.
How long does
I'm just focusing on the Mario.
How long does a match end for you? Because it's usually about half an hour. Like it's so long for every match.
Yeah, so that's the complaint I've been hearing. I haven't beat it yet, so I haven't seen the whole length of a match. But I typically get about around the 10th place. I think my record is I've gotten to top. I've gotten to like 8th a few times now. So I'm usually somewhere around like 8 to maybe 15 is where I end up for the 6th games I've played. And yeah, I do think there's a weird kind of pacing issue of like some will fall off real quick. And people will kind of slowly, gradually fall, but then there'll be like 5 pretty good Mario players, and you're in this kind of weird stalemate until someone just happens to like blink.
Yeah.
But it ends up just kind of being like nonsense Mario, which that part's kind of fun. Like when you get a star, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's so many enemies being sent your way. Or when you have a fireball and you can just like rain down on enemies, that's cool too. But yes, you do get less time back.
Yeah.
So that's the one drawback to having the fire flower.
Yeah. So the stars are always good for sure, because I think you just get like a standard 2 or 3 seconds per enemy, and you can just run through a huge group of them and get a whole bunch of time instantly, which is like a good way to do that. I guess the other mechanic in this is that every 20 coins you can do a roulette for a power-up. And that power-up is either a mushroom, a flower, a star, or a POW to like clear the screen essentially. And what's the other thing that I need to talk about? Oh yeah, I guess when like Tetris 99, you can kind of target other people in different ways, and when you kill an enemy and you're targeting somebody, it sends a copy of the enemy you killed to whoever you're targeting. So
yeah, that's the main gameplay thing.
That's the main
anytime an enemy is killed, it gets sent to another player. That's how you can end up with like someone in the chat just said 5 Bowsers at once.
Yeah,
nonsense like that.
Yeah, for sure. So I
also have the badge system that was also in Tetris 99, but I never like read up on how you specifically get the badges and whatnot, because they have those like red coins on the top of your screen.
The coins, yeah. So I'm pretty sure the way it goes is that whatever coins they have are sent to you if you knock them out, and if you don't, they go into the pool for the winner at the end, like if they just die from something else.
Right, but aren't there, so there's regular coins, but aren't there like coins that sit above like your little player profile? And I'm assuming those do stuff, because Tetris 99 had like specific badges that would show up based on how you're playing and stuff.
I was just assuming that that's an indicator of how many, an indicator of how many coins that player
okay,
has.
Maybe I'm mistaken then.
Yeah, it's not like a badge system necessarily. In fact, it might just be how many times they can roll the thing, maybe, because I don't know.
Each one is 20, maybe. Yep.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. So I found the way that you should play is you do 1-1, then you do 1-2, and you loop 1-1 and 1-2 forever until you win. So that's how you play the game. Congrats, guys, you know now. Because there is a power-up at 1-1 right away. There is a secret life pretty quickly at the very beginning of 1-1. That'll give you a roll. Get a good roll or don't. There's a fire flower in the next area. Then there's a star that you can kill a bunch of shit. Go into 1-2. Then there's power-ups there. And then there's a star where you can kill shit. But more importantly, you can choose by going into the secret pipe area which level you want. And as long as you don't do 1-3, which is like the level where you're going to probably die because that's a level with pits everywhere, you're fine. Like, that's the strat, essentially. And this game has become, do you like 1-1 enough to play it for 30 minutes or do you want to lose?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I thought I was wondering if the pipe was there, but I hadn't like focused on trying to get up there. I also do want to unlock the other stages because I want to just kind of
Yeah.
complete that the level select screen.
Well, the other stages are good if you actually want to send stuff that isn't just Goombas to get people to like actually fuck them over. You want to get to a point where you can get Spinies out. Every now and then, if you can get a Bowser's good, but there's not usually enough stuff in the level unless you're being attacked to gain time back. So it's usually kind of a bad thing to choose a Bowser level unless like you are able to get time back for doing it, and then you can send a Bowser to somebody. Yeah, I don't know. The bloopers are fun too. Sending bloopers to people can really fuck them up, so that's fun.
And bloopers do just suck.
Yeah, they absolutely suck.
Like you have to, and like playing this on like a water stage, that sucks.
If you play the water stage and you don't have fire, it's the worst. There's so much shit everywhere. Yeah.
I think the caveat to all this though is this game is free, so how upset can you really be?
Yeah, no, for sure. This is definitely not a thing that, like, if I paid $5 for this, I would be furious. But for free, it's like whatever. I played, I think, an hour and a half.
Probably have paid. I think this game is worth $5.
I don't at all think this is worth any money.
I don't think this game is bad. It's just, I think there's a pacing issue, and as a result, I don't think I'm going to play it for very long. But I would pay $5 for this.
I definitely would not. I can see why it's a little.
Well, if they do the Tetris 99 route, they'll come out with a $10 offline mode.
Yeah, I wonder what that would even be. Just like the AI throwing random shit at you or something. Maybe
it would just be you playing against 34 bots, because that's what it is for Tetris 99. Is you're just playing against bots for the most part.
Yeah,
or for the whole part, you're offline. What I mean, the most part, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you have a Switch and you want to try it out, there's really no reason not to. You can go ahead and download it. It's a small download, and you can play 1-1 for half an hour. One time. I'm probably not going to play any more of it, but we'll see. That's all.
I'll probably dip my toe in here and there, like I do for Tetris 99.
Sure, that's all I've been playing.
All right, let's go with the last couple games I had played. I played just today because it went free. Rogue Company.
That's why there's like sponsored streams of it today. Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, so this had been out, but you had the only way to get it was through like a starter edition.
Right. Yeah.
The game is designed to be free to play, but they have like, hey, buy the starter edition, but those were the only ones available. Now it's free version is completely out.
Sure.
I think it's pretty decent.
It's good.
It's basically like, Counter-Strike. But your characters have specific traits, so I guess it's kind of like an easier Siege for the most part.
Sure. Yeah.
You have your rogues or your heroes or your operatives. They all have a different like ultimate ability that they can use. But each round you are purchasing upgrades and purchasing new skills, and each gun or shop that you have access to is unique to each character to pick from. So. But it's cool. You like dive in from the beginning, which is pretty fun, and you can like look ahead to the other side of the map and see where the enemy team is diving. So you can kind of see, all right, what are they trying to plan? Are they splitting up? Are they sticking together? And there's various game type modes of like, plant the bomb in one of two locations, or defuse the bomb, defend the location. There's just King of the Hill. There's like team deathmatch with like a pool of lives. Pretty standard stuff. I think it's pretty good. I think the characters just kind of move a bit slow. Like the running feels real slow.
Yeah.
You have a dodge roll, which I really like that you do have a dodge roll, because when you get in a fight, being able to like dodge back behind some cover is a lot of fun. But the dodge is just real slow.
Yeah.
The movement just is not very exciting. But I think the gunplay is good. I think the time to kill is good. You regenerate health, which is cool, and I like the abilities too. And if you're familiar with Siege, you'll be pretty familiar with a lot of them. Like one dude can put down a bunch of barbed wire. One dude can put up like a big shield. stuff like that. So, but I almost feel bad comparing it to Siege, because Siege is like so finely crafted and tuned, and there's so much in it. And then this is like baby Siege.
Sure.
This thing is probably feeling flattered that I am comparing it to Siege. Siege is definitely a better game, but this is definitely an easier game and also free. So there is that too. I'll probably play a bit more of it. I haven't seen all the levels. I think there's 8 levels in there. I've only seen 3 of them. For the most part, they kind of seemed pretty generic.
Yep. They're small, which I like. I like that they're not huge looking for people.
They're not very huge, but which is good, because the teams are small as well. It's 4-on-4. It does seem like they don't. If someone drops, they will not put someone else to take their place.
Yeah, that's
very Siege-like. I remember that being an issue. Because at that point, it's like you might as well just give up.
Yeah, kind of.
There is basically no way you will win unless you're like pretty good to be going up against a team with more players. But like I remember that from Siege as well. Like if someone you could see when the other team started like disconnecting, and then those teammates would just be like, "Well, I'm just gonna like run in front of people because we need this game to end."
Yeah.
Because So I feel bad for when that happens, because it happened a couple times on the other side. There would be like 4 against 3, and I was like, "Well, we got this in the bag, I guess."
Yeah.
And that's just a bummer. I wish they would at least put bots in there or something, especially when I understand not putting bots in for Siege might be kind of hard because that game is so tactical.
Yeah.
This game is not in no way that tactical, so you could throw some bots in for sure. But
for sure,
it'll come. Who knows? There's still characters to unlock, and the ones that you need to unlock, they seem pretty interesting as well. I'm probably not going to put money into this, but I might play it enough to get enough in-game currency to buy one of them. We'll see. I don't know. They're a little expensive.
Sure. I guess also for anybody who thinks this might sound interesting, it does take the Counter-Strike model of you buy your weapons and abilities kind of, but they stay persistent throughout the rounds, and you can upgrade at the beginning of each round, to do kind of a loadout essentially for your character, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. So you can buy an assault rifle, and then you can upgrade it 3 times to make it a better assault rifle in some way. And then that's also how you buy a lot of the passive. You have to buy a lot of passive skills for your character. So not only are you selecting a character based on what is their ultimate and what is the guns they have available in their shop, but what are the passive abilities that I can purchase. And that's kind of fun, because then you can kind of tune the character you like, or the ultimate you want to use, to the play style you want. Do you want to be someone that has more shields, or do you want to be someone that can run around and reload at the same time and stuff like that?
Or silent footsteps, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
Yep.
Again, that's Rogue Company. It's free. I think it's on everything. I know it's on Switch, because that's the first time I had actually heard about it. I'm playing it on Xbox. I believe there is cross-play, because when I was looking at the in-game current leaderboard stuff, there was an Xbox symbol beside me and no one else.
Okay.
I'm assuming they were on PC.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
That's my guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's Rogue Company. The last game I played, I talked about it a bit at the top of the show, is some DJ Hero 2.
Yeah, all right.
I brought down the controller. I wasn't able to bring the whole Renegade edition. It just that case is too big. I tried though, because it was smaller than I remember it being, and I was like, "Can I fit this in my bag?" No, I can't fit it in my bag. So I just brought the controller down, and then this led to just some tedium, into which I needed to get my 360 up and working again. So the problem with my 360 is the disk drive no longer opens.
Right.
For whatever reason. And up until this point being the last time I played with my 360, which must be a few years back, you could kind of get it if you hit the open button a lot and prayed. Then it would open up, and it's good. I only needed you to open up once, and I can put the disc in. Good. And then you'd have to do it again to get that disc out. But it's okay, because then this thing's going back in the closet. I could not for the life of me get it to open up. So I had to go on online, look at YouTube videos on how to manually eject it. So I had to take the faceplate off, get a safety pin in there to press a button so that it would come out a bit, so I could pull it open, put a disc in, turn it on so that it would automatically shut it. Now I can play my game.
This is definitely the most effort I've ever heard somebody have played DJ Hero. that you've gone through.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, well, I wanted to play some DJ Hero, and now that disc is in there, and it's
travel to another country during a pandemic. Got DJ Hero.
Climbed up into a crawl space without pants on at 11 o'clock at night. Yep. Did all this. DJ Hero's really good, man.
Yeah.
I need to turn this fan up. It is
so You're still dying.
So hot in here. There we go. DJ Hero's so good. I found out there's still a few achievements that I'd never gotten that are easy, like complete the tutorial, because I'd already played and knew everything from DJ Hero 1. So it's like, I'm going to get some new DJ Hero achievements in 2020. That's weird.
Yeah, that is.
Man, that game is still good. The servers are offline, obviously. But I'm so much worse than I remember being. I remember being so much better. And now I'm just trying to play all these remixes that I hadn't heard in probably 6 years or so. And I'm destroying them. I have to knock it down to medium for anything to sound decent. The 360 looks so bad on my big TV.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It looks so just crusty and blown out. Yeah, man, DJ Hero is still just so fun, and I also wish I could just buy the digital versions, because I'm in this situation where it's like having a physical version is actually making this hard to play because of this disk drive problem. I even looked up can you just buy this digitally? And it was too early. There's no that was before everything had a digital version that you could also purchase. Just so. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it out for a bit, maybe playing it a couple more times before I put it back in the shelf. But I wish there was more DJ Hero. That game is so much fun.
Well, glad that it was at least worth it, all the trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And now, once people can come and visit each other, yeah, I can be like, hey, do you guys want to play some DJ Hero? Because I know you have not played DJ Hero, and you are in for a treat.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for what we've been playing. Let's talk about some news. We actually got a bit of a slow week, finally.
Yes, love it.
Let's start off with Insomniac's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
recast the character model, and Peter Parker on Spider-Man Remastered will have a different face now.
What a weird decision.
It's so weird. I can't think of any analogs to this. Closest is they changed the voice actor of a robot in Destiny. It's no longer Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. It's usually
you've seen both of these faces now. Where do you land?
I don't like the Tom Holland lookalike. I don't like the new one at all. I like the other one.
Tom Holland? Okay. Yeah, I like the original. I can't tell if that's just because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for me, because I spent a lot of time with that dude. A lot.
Right, and I saw the great facial expressions, and that was a fun story, and he got so angry, and that was a great time. So, Insomniac obviously came out to kind of with their blog saying kind of why, and I'll just read the statement that they put out there.
Sure.
In order to bring the best performances to player with our next generation Marvel's Spider-Man games, we have recast the face of Peter Parker. We loved working with John Obniak on the original game. However, to get a better match to Peter Parker / Spider-Man actor Yuri Lowenthal's facial capture, we have cast Ben Jordan to be the face model for Peter Parker on the PS5 console. Looks incredible in game, and Yuri's moving performances take on new life.
So they Sonny was saying they did this for Judgment Yakuza, where the OG actor got busted for doing code. Right. I'm almost wondering, do you think that they just had a bad working relationship with the other guy or something, and they're just like, you know what, just fucking recast it, anybody can be Peter Parker, who cares?
That's an idea. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. That is good. Yes, I had completely forgotten about the Judgment thing. That's right.
Yeah. Weird. Absolutely weird.
This is super weird. He does look younger.
Yeah, he does.
Than the other Peter Parker. So I guess like going forward, because Peter's gonna show up in sequels and stuff, it's gonna be this new guy, and that's just gonna be weird to me. Maybe yeah, give me. I want DLC of the original face. Pay $3 for that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Interesting idea.
Moving on, EA Play. We had talked about this earlier. They're going to be incorporated in Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
The official date for that, specifically Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, that is going to happen on November 10th.
Okay. Neat. Do you know if Star Wars Squadrons is going to be part of that, part of EA Play or anything? Like, I'm wondering if I have to buy that game. Okay, I should look into it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I did have a friend who subscribed to EA Play. EA Play was not day and date, but they would give you kind of like timed stuff with it. Like I remember when Burnout Paradise came out, I bought it and they're like, "Oh, it's on EA Play day 1, but only 20 hours, so I can play some multiplayer with you for 20 hours."
Yeah.
Or might be something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
A Pokemon Company came out to give us an update on the next piece of the season pass for Pokemon Sword and Shield, titled The Crown Tundra. This is part 2 of 2. This is going to be available on October 22nd. Sounds like a bunch of legendary Pokemon from the past are getting put into there. Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you bought the first DLC, which I did, you get the second one because they did not allow you to buy them piecemeal.
Right.
So I'll have something to play later this month.
Cool.
Speaking of some Nintendo properties, Smash Bros. Announced a new character, and everyone got upset, at least on my Twitter feed. We've got Minecraft Steve.
I thought this kind of looked funny. I thought it was cute. But I also don't care about competitiveness in Smash, so.
Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's good because it's not a Fire Emblem character.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Another dude with a sword.
Yep, I thought the same. Honestly.
You can be one of 4 different Minecraft characters. There's a zombie and a girl, and the Enderman.
But they're all the same moveset, right? Like they're just skins, essentially.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, and I don't remember the girl's name because I don't know any of these Minecraft names. I'm not a Minecraft person, but I think this makes sense. Minecraft's super popular, but like I said, yeah, people were pretty upset.
Yeah.
Who would they have to add for you to go and spend real money and play this 2-year-old game?
What, Smash Bros?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been buying the characters.
Have you? So you're gonna pick up Minecraft Steve?
Well, I mean, I've been buying the like passes or whatever, the fighter passes. So
okay.
Is this part of this is part of that, right?
Yeah, this is part of the second pass. I think there's 4 more characters to be announced.
Yeah, I think so too.
I bet there's a lot of kids that are fucking stoked that Minecraft Steve is in Smash Bros. And I'm happy for them.
I honestly don't think this is a big deal. I thought it was cute. And more than anything, every time they announce a new character, they do like a pretty fun video about it. Also, it looks like their ultimate Smash is him like throwing a person into a cave or like a house and like locking them in with a whole bunch of creepers and TNT. What the fuck was that?
And they all explode. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty good.
All right, I got one more news story here. This is a pretty minor thing. That jump rope challenge game that Nintendo put out on Switch for free at the beginning of quarantine for people to try and stay healthy. It was like a timed thing. They were taking it off store shelves. They decided they're not going to do that.
Right.
And the only reason I mentioned this is Nintendo has a few other timed things. It seems Nintendo can change their mind in the last minute and keep things on store shelves. So wouldn't be surprised if they did that for some of their other products. Because of course they are.
Uh-huh. For sure.
But yeah, that'll do it for news. So let's do some of these questions. topdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address. At TDP Podcast on Twitter, Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box are all great ways to send questions in.
True.
And I'll read this first one from Kevin, who writes, "Is the best Assassin's Creed game?"
From the ones I've played, Odyssey, for me, I think the general consensus is that 2 is probably the best game, though.
I think at this point, Origins is the best game overall. I think that 2 and Brotherhood were definitely the highs back then, but I don't think you could go back to them at this point.
Oh, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you were going to play one now, I think you should play Origins. I'm in place though. I think Brotherhood was like the height. I think it was everything is good about 2, but they just did more and they added an actual kind of interesting multiplayer mode.
Sure. Yep. Okay.
Flag is really good too, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. That was a good one. There's a few good ones for sure. Cody asks, given the choice, would you rather run a game at A, 4K and 30 FPS frames per second, B, 1080p and 60 frames per second, or C, 720p and 120 frames per second? What do you think?
I go back and forth on this specifically because when I'm playing on like the Xbox One X, you usually have to choose between A or B here.
Okay.
You don't get everything. I don't think I would do C. I don't think I've never even seen a game at 120 frames per second. And if I was playing it on like my big screen, it would look so bad if it was just 720p. I typically go 4K 30.
Okay. I will never do 30. I hate 30. It's absolutely disgusting. 1080p always. With 60.
Okay.
I will probably never do 720 120. But I'm also not a competitive shooter guy, and I think they would. So, I guess if you're a competitive shooter guy, you probably want C.
I always just like the 4K, like because I got the big TV. I want to see it all, and yeah, the frame rate usually doesn't bug me in any way. Professor Mitchell, is there any other case where you got someone's Twitter? Sorry, is there any case where you got someone's Twitter or other online name wrong and it ended up messaging the wrong way?
Huh.
I don't think I've done anything online like that. I think in person, if I've called someone the wrong thing and it ended up being bad. I mean, like, I was young, you accidentally call your teacher mom. That's not great.
That is bad. That's
just embarrassing. And I definitely did that like maybe once or twice as a kid.
Yeah. Oh, I sent an email once to at my old company. I sent emails all the time, so I got used to just typing in like the first name and then hitting tab or whatever. And this one person that I like never send emails to, I had to send them an email and I ended up sending it to a wrong person in the company, like a whole different other person that I've never even talked to. Shit like that is really embarrassing, where it's just like, oh shit, disregard.
Sure. Yeah.
That's bad.
I can't think of any time I did it where like something bad happened or it came off really bad.
Also, like, this isn't my case, but there is a StarCraft guy named Trump. I'm sure he's gotten a whole lot of bad shit since 2016 on his Twitter.
I'm sure, for sure.
And Will Smith from Tested, or I guess not from Tested anymore, but I know that he gets stuff for the other Will Smith, the one you're probably
and that one's crazy to me because people are just tweeting at Will Smith and just assuming like, oh, that's got to be his Twitter account. I don't know personally, but I just want Will Smith to see this tweet.
Yeah,
and I'm going to assume it's just his name.
Yeah, so those are just some funny examples that I know of. Linebeck asks, how would you define a game that is difficult for the wrong reasons? Difficult for
I think our Super Mario Bros. One example was good. Like the physics are just kind of bad. Bad checkpointing is one. Like, and if you can die, like anything insta death sucks. So like pits are annoying, and if the checkpointing is also annoying, that's not great either.
Yeah. Like arbitrary difficulty where something just doesn't die for some reason. I hate to. I mean, one hit kills or instant death is always my answer. I hate it in every game, even games I love. I hate when they do that shit.
I think like Control's most recent DLC kind of did this on that final fight of how the enemy could like heal itself by like grabbing you. It's just like, man, I'm already working so hard to like turn the lights on, jump in the light, do some damage to you, not go near you, and then if you happen to get close enough to me, you get like half your health back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, really annoying. And his second question. I'm at the end of Yakuza Kiwami, and the game has told me this is the last free time I have before the final battle to prepare. It got me wondering, are you the kind of person that prefers to leave all the side quests until after the final boss, or do you do them all beforehand? I know, for me, all beforehand. I won't, because when I do the final boss, I turn the game off and uninstall it from my system. It's done.
Yeah, that's the ideal for me. This shifted growing up. When I was younger, it led to a lot of do everything first, then do the final boss. You know, I want to see everything. I want to be as most powerful. I want to use all the cool attacks on like the bosses and stuff, yada yada.
Yeah.
Then that slowly turned into I would be doing that, but then I just wouldn't finish the game because I would kind of stop playing the game for some reason. So I have a bunch of RPGs where it's like technically I could just go fight the final boss, but I went and did some side quests and then I moved on. So like Tales of Vesperia, that's an example of that. Final Fantasy 3 on the DS, that's another example of that. Final Fantasy 10, even back on the PS2, that was an example of that. And then that's turned into now when I get to the boss, unless there's something I really want to do, I do the boss, and if I'm still feeling it, I'll go do those side quests.
Okay. Sure.
But I do actually tend to just kind of move on because I'm trying to play so much stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a real litmus test for me. If I finish the final game or the final boss of the game, and I do want to keep doing those side quests, cool. And if I don't, well, I probably didn't care that much anyway.
Yeah, no, that's a good point for sure. I usually, like, if they give me, say, 10 quests and, like, 2 of them are story and 8 are side, I'll do the 8 side and then the 2 story. And I try to, like, keep up with it that way usually.
Going through the game, I do that for sure. Like, I'll do all the side quests before I'll do something that's like, I feel like this is going to move me on to the next area. Like, I think of, like, Last of Us 2. It's like, I'm pretty sure when I drop down there, I can't come back. So I better go this way first. You know, I'm always going to try and go the way the game doesn't want you to go first and do all that stuff. But once I get to the end, I kind of want to just do the final boss and not put it off.
Yep. No, for sure. I guess, like, the one that I go to in my mind is Mass Effect 2. You can do that, like, suicide mission super early, but the game is kind of like, you should do loyalty missions, though, probably. And you don't have to do them, and you don't have to do them all, but you kind of want to, so...
Right. I feel like that's kind of a bit of a different thing because like the game is about doing those. Like that's the same with Breath of the Wild. It's like, yeah, you could just go to the final boss.
Yeah.
But the game's not really. It's kind of telling you to do something else first. Rinku writes, after listening to the latest TDP Plus episode and you guys going over the plot of Battletoads 2020, it's another game you've had someone explain to you its general plot. You leave even more confused.
Yeah, Battletoads is definitely one of those games.
Thinking another one that we probably did this is we went through all of The Quiet Man. There is no way anyone listening to that who did not play the game has any idea what happened in any part of The Quiet Man.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Because we played it. Some of us played it twice, and we still don't know what happened in The Quiet Man.
Yeah. I think some of the Metal Gears, it's like if you explain to somebody what was going on in that story besides just you are infiltrating a thing to take down a weapon, that game is super weird and convoluted.
Right. That's like a great example of like describe a game poorly.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
And then you say that for like Metal Gear. Another good one like that, it would be Death Stranding.
Yeah.
With all the nonsense happening. Okay, well this happens, but no, they can't go outside because the rain hurts some of their skin, and that's also they can't touch people. Yeah. There's a lot going on there as well. I don't think this has ever actually happened to me because it is pretty rare where I'm like, please tell me the entire plot of a game. If I'm that interested in the game, I'm going to want to just play that game.
Yep. I agree for sure. Suku asks, do you miss split screen gaming? I do not at all.
Yeah, no, I do not. I don't until I do. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't miss split screen. I miss like having a bunch of friends over and like playing a game together. That sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah. But I'm just thinking of like, I for the most part, I don't miss this. I want online co-op. That's how I play like 99% of the times. But then there's the 1% of the time where it's like, let's play it together. Oh, it doesn't have local co-op. Oh man.
Weird. Yeah.
How does it not have local co-op?
Yeah, that's weird. Second question. The long and scenic way or the quick and hard way? Quick and hard.
Just quick and hard, yeah. I just want to get something done.
Yep. Same.
Hebrew Lantern. So Pokemon has officially stated that a group of Pikachu is a plethora of Pikachu. What are some of your favorite phrases for groups like murder of crows, etc.? And can you come up with any new ones?
Murder of crows is very good. I like that
Crows is very good. Iconic.
What's the
I'm just looking up a list of some of these.
Isn't it like an enchant of unicorns or something dumb like that?
See if this list I pulled up has unicorns. It does not have unicorns. It has only real animals.
A blessing of unicorns.
Okay, sure. Yep. Quiver of cobras. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's good.
Sloth of bears? That doesn't sound right.
That sounds really off. Yeah.
Shrewdness of apes. Is this real?
That can't be real, is it? That's really weird.
Convocation of eagles.
Oh, that's
kind of like that one a lot.
That's like a good rock band or something.
Yeah. A business of ferrets. Okay, I have heard that one. I love that one. I think that is fantastic. That is just such good imagery. An army of frogs. That's the official name of a group of frogs, is an army. That's badass.
A clouder or glaring of cats.
Yeah, I think you're on the same list as I have. A gaggle of geese is good. A tower of giraffes. I did not know that, but that just makes sense. A band of gorillas. That's great. And that's another good band name.
Of lemurs.
That's very good.
A conspiracy of lemurs. Holy crap.
Of lemurs.
That's so good.
Shadow of jaguars. That doesn't sound real.
An unkindness of ravens.
What was the raven one? An unkindness. Unkindness of ravens. That sounds like a book title of like a subtitle of a young adult fantasy youth title.
Yeah.
Unkindness of ravens. A prickle of porcupines. That's just great. Pandemonium of parrots.
Oh.
Or limit to bowels. I think that just sounds nice.
Yep. There's a bunch of good ones actually.
Smack of jellyfish. That sounds like something that only like a foreign kind of English. Like, oh, that's how Australians say it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, smack a jellyfish.
Something like that. Like it's like, oh, that's the English way to say it. That's just one of their terms.
Sure. Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. Those are good. I don't think I can come up with better ones.
No, those are good.
The follow-up question. Steve Irwin has you pinned down in a headlock. What cool facts does he tell the audience about you and your environment? This is a good question. I just like the idea of this question.
All right. Well, this little fella right here, I can't do an accent. I don't know. I spend all day looking at a screen, I guess. Like I don't really do much.
I can't think of what cool facts he would tell. I just wanted to read this question.
That's a good question.
You and your environment. The moment he'd probably say something about how it's too hot inside and going outside, you can't breathe. It's my environment.
Yeah. Help me and my environment.
If you don't got one, let's move on.
Let's move on. VGC Kenny asks, what would you do if there was a video game exclusive to Fortnite? Like somewhere in the area, there's a little shack with a console, and that was the only way to play this game. Not like a mini game thing either. A full-on AAA game only available through Fortnite. What would you do? Guess I would download Fortnite.
I would play it. Yeah. My question would be like, can you get killed while you're playing it, like outside? That's my big question. Maybe you know the answer to this. Whenever Fortnite keeps adding in like a bunch of random things to do in there, you can still get shot during it, right? Like if you're gonna watch Batman, is it just like, I hope no one shoots me because we're watching Batman right now? Or are you still playing? Like I haven't really done any of this stuff. Like when I showed you that cool, the hip hop artist, when they're like flying around, could they still shoot each other? Like, haha, you don't get to enjoy this anymore.
I have no idea.
Exactly, that's what I'm confused. So I'm wondering, like, if I'm playing this game, get like sucked into the arcade cabinet or whatever, or is your character sitting there while you're starting quest 1 on this 60-hour RPG?
That'd be really good.
And can someone just come up and shoot you and take your stuff? Also, what happens if the game ends? Like, what happens if somehow you win? You're the longest lasting person, still trying to play a 60-hour RPG.
I mean, not to be too dark, but somebody could break in when I'm playing a game here and shoot me in the back of the head while I'm playing something.
Yeah,
so
I guess
that's just life, man. Sure. Fortnite is just life.
You get to continue from where you're at? That's my question. So can more than one person play at a time, or is there going to be a line of people?
These are all questions we probably need answered.
Anyway, I think that this would happen. I'm surprised there isn't like a hacking mini game already in there. We got to like hack something by playing a mini game to get into something, and then that'll just get fleshed out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Isviru, how often do you upgrade your setup for recording and streaming / working from home?
I guess when money allows it for me, because this isn't a job for me, so.
I'm trying to think. I've never gotten to the point where it's like, oh, I need this thing, I need to upgrade it right now. It's usually just been like,
it would be nice too.
These things are kind of on sale. I could use one of these, and it could be like, oh,
yeah,
mic arm. I could use a mic arm. I want to say I upgrade something, I don't know, once every 6 months.
Sure. Yeah.
Upgrade something, whether it's like new microphone, mic arm, new RAM in my machine, something like that.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
The follow-up question is, what has been the most useful yet underrated tool you own for your setup, whether it be ties for cables or Q-tips for cleaning, etc., etc.?
Cable ties, for sure.
I don't have cable ties. It's underrated. I got this big long mouse pad.
Yeah.
Can't really pull it up because there's a bunch of stuff on it, and actually
those are good.
Screwed to the table. Because I'm not one person who like needs mouse pads, but when I was recording, my mouse was getting picked up. When I would move it around, because it would be a bit of a scraping noise, so I didn't want that getting picked up on the mic. And my phone, when it would vibrate, would be so loud against the table, so the mouse pad deafens that a bit as well. So I like having this big long mouse pad, and then like because it's nice and long, like it's just kind of soft on my arms and my wrists and stuff.
I guess like the other thing is this right here, the shock mount. When I move things around, you can't hear it, or like if something like drops on my desk, it doesn't just destroy ears, including my own.
Sure. Yep. I'll also just say a pop screen. I do a lot of stuff with the VO, and you hear so much pops, and it's like, what are you doing? Get up! These things are like $12.
They're cheap, yeah. Okay, Gutang Clan. For the last question, a friend of mine ordered some Wii games from GameStop for his 2 kids. about $40 worth. He texted me saying they sent him something extra in the box. Should he keep it? I said, yes, it's their mistake. Then he sent me this picture. This was the extra item. So for people that are just listening and can't see anything, the extra item was a fully refurbished Xbox Series S.
Oh, Xbox One S.
One S, yeah. So a whole system. Yeah, he should keep it.
This is very funny.
Yeah, this is very good.
I'm curious, like, how you would even go about sending it back.
Yep.
Is GameStop going to send you a shipping label so that you don't have to pay for anything? Because, like,
God, no.
part of me also doesn't want to go down. That thing's big. You can't just go to like a mailbox and drop it in there. You're gonna have to go to like a post office and drop it off. You're taking out like a solid hour of my day. I mean,
Yep.
the good Samaritan thing is, yes, send it back. Also, it's a used 1S at
Yeah.
this point.
I'd keep it.
That is crazy.
Yep. Weird.
That's funny.
It's really funny.
All right, that's going to do it for questions this week. If you want to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at ADP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Oh, I'll give it to Deep Rock. I think Spelunky 2, when I put more time in it, will be next week. So,
Right on. It's going to be Hades.
Okay, sure.
I just played a bunch of that this weekend.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the TDP Plus episode about Hades. And speaking of TDP Plus, as mentioned earlier, we did a Battletoads episode last week. So if that is of interest in you, check out the Patreon and you can listen to us. One of the longest episodes we've recorded, but we just talked a whole bunch about Battletoads. So if that's interesting to you, go check out our Patreon.
Yeah.
Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.